Collecting vintage slot cars. If you're looking for a new hobby, then you should certainly consider collecting vintage slot cars. It could be one of the most rewarding hobbies you've ever started. What are slot cars? Slot cars are mini replicas of actual vehicles which are built to scale. People use the cars in races that require special tracks with slots. A small piece underneath the slot car allows the car to remain on the track during a race. When were model cars first used? The first model cars appeared in 1899, which is when the first patent in the USA was issued for them. Anyone interested in vintage slot car collecting should know that the first car racing set appeared on the market in 1911. The cars actually raced on train tracks. Over 7 decades later, the company that first produced that racing set manufactured reproductions of that first racing set's cars. When were slot car sets invented? Anyone interested in vintage slot cars should know that that was during the 1930s. However, interestingly, the slot car system was patented but not sold to the public. That was due to a decision by the system's inventor. Slot cars didn't become a popular pastime until 1957. That's the year that the company Scalextric invented tin plate cars that contained spring motors. What are some tips for collecting classic slot cars? If you're interested in collecting vintage slot cars, here are some helpful tips. Look for the rarest cars and sets. This is one of the most important steps to take if you're interested in vintage slot car collecting. One of the bittersweet events for slot car collectors was the pastime becoming significantly less popular. That resulted in certain cars and sets skyrocketing in value. While they're quite difficult to find, they're certainly worth searching for if you're interested in extremely valuable collectibles. For example, certain sets sold by Leisure Dynamics around the early 1970s are worth a small fortune today. Be cautiously optimistic about finding kits. While they are out there, they're much more difficult to find than individual cars. However, if you can find some kits, then you will have found a gold mine of sorts. In fact, many kits were lost during the Vietnam War era. After many American youngsters were recruited, their parents often threw away their slot car collections. Don't expect to find any lost warehouses of slot cars. Online auctions have basically eliminated the existence of such stockpiles of classic slot cars and slot car sets. Such auctions have also significantly reduced the investments that many collectors made in the 1990s. So basically, whatever is available is now available to the public. The key is to find collectibles with the highest values. Search for top-notch companies. They include ones such as Monogram and Revell. Such slot car brands can be integral in vintage slot car collecting. However, the condition of the slot cars and their boxes is also important. Look for cars and boxes that are in mint conditions, since they'll have the highest values. Collecting vintage slot cars is a fun and rewarding hobby for anyone interested in motorsports or the pastime of slot car racing or collecting memorabilia. If you want to find out more about vintage slot cars and modern slot cars, make sure to check us out at myslotcarracing.com. You can type into your browser myslotcarracing.com or click on the link in the description below this video.